talking about cussing. One of our viewers wants to know, where in the Bible does it talk about cussing? Well, first of all, you got to know there's not like a list of cuss words, and there's nowhere it says these are okay and these are not okay, obviously, because it was written 2,000 years ago in Greek and Hebrew and Aramaic, so that's going to be completely different. But really, there is one verse in the Bible. It's Ephesians chapter 5. It's really the cuss word verse. It says there should be no obscenity or coarse joking. Now, that's pretty straightforward. What's it talking about? It's talking about things like the F word. It's talking about dirty jokes and sexual references to sexual organs and that kind of stuff, right? Obviously, obscenity, coarse joking. We get it. Don't do that. Why don't you do it? Well, it matches up what Jesus said. He says, out of the overflow of your heart, your mouth speaks. If that's the kind of stuff that's coming out of your mouth, what does that say about what's going on in your heart? And on top of that, what I realized when I became a follower of Christ and took all that out of my language and my lingo, I realized, looking back, it actually kind of made me sound like a moron. And I didn't realize that it actually reduced people's respect that they had for me. So that's why we do it. Now, don't go hog wild with this Ephesians 5 passage, because some people take it to an extreme and say, well, you can't say this, and you can't say this, and you can't say this. We really shouldn't even say the word but. Okay? That's taking things too far, in my opinion, right? Again, it's a wide open canvas there, and really you could use this verse to say that anything that you want to is vulgar or obscene. But let's not do that, because really it changes from context to context and culture to culture, and this is an ever-changing landscape of words that you really should say or shouldn't say. And for instance, when I grew up on a farm, we had pig feces that we would clean up, and we didn't call it poop, we called it shit, because that's what it was to us. When I moved into the city, I realized that's broadly a not acceptable way to refer to feces of any kind, so I had to cut that out of my vocabulary, right? These words changed in culture and context and things like that. So here's how I teach my kids. I say, hey kids, there are some things that you should never, ever say as funny, as sarcastic. Just they're off the table. These are vulgar and wrong. And then there's other words that really, you just got to be aware of who you're around. You got to think about how people react to certain words. And you got to use good judgment. But we can't just use this verse to go around and say that we got to just stop using the English language altogether, because that's not what faith is about. It's about what's going on in here, not about whether this list of words is wrong and this list of words is right. Okay? So you should ask your question. We will get it answered right here on the show.